Virgin Voyages Alaska. This is the video I wish I got to see before I sailed because there were a lot of things that I didn't expect. So let's break it down in this video. We are talking about shore things, the excursions, what you need to know the second you book your cruise. Let's talk about the outdoor spaces because y'all have a lot of questions and expectations around that. And then let's talk about all the new programming that's exclusive to Alaska sailings only. And then let's talk about the Alaska specific food and drink items because there's way more of those than I anticipated coming up. And if you're new here, ahoy, I'm Christine Lozada. I want you to book your Virgin Voyages cruise with us. We're award-winning travel agents. We know a lot about this. And even if you've already booked, be a smart traveler. Send us a text message or an email or call us or use the form. Just make sure you're being a smart traveler and getting the best deal out there. More info in the description. Let's talk about this first thing to know because seriously, this is one that you should not wait on as soon as you book your Alaska cruise. And this is the shore things or excursions. Alaska is a really special place. And this is one where you're just gonna want to make sure you're able to do the things that you really want to do. And some of the excursions, I'll give you one example that surprised me. In Prince Rupert, Canada, not Alaska, there is a grizzly bear adventure. It's an expedition and they can only hold so many people. And so this thing sold out ASAP, and there's more or less no way to get. I even went into their shop and talked to the person there and was like, help me to understand why there's no way I can do this. And there was no way I could do that because I needed to book it in advance. They book up very fast. And so if there's something specific you want to do, I mean, for me, the glacier with dog sledding was magical. These are things you're going to want to book as soon as you book your cruise. And don't forget, even if you have a placeholder, right? You book your cruise, you book the excursion, you have time to think about it because the cancellation policy is normally a day or something. They change it all the time. You have options. So book your excursions. But the other thing, I'm gonna be totally honest here. It ain't cheap. I probably spent more on these excursions than I did on the cruise itself. So the price point on these things are not, they might be magical experiences, but they are not magically free experiences. So if you want more helpful tips and you want to see what some of these excursions look like, there's a whole port vlog series. I create a port vlog for every single port I was at in Alaska and Canada. So make sure you're checking the info in the description and book your cruise with us. There's also a pack list. There's a million other resources in there. All right, let's talk about this next thing you need to know, which is something you have a lot of questions about, which is the outside areas on Virgin Voyages. I get a lot of messages from people and just see a lot of comments in general on my content about people being pretty upset that the ship is not completely retrofitted for Alaska. I don't know, I didn't have any expectations around that, so I'm just gonna share with you what I observed because a lot of it isn't what I expected. The first thing is that people were outside all the time. Don't let all the other noise on the internet tell you otherwise. I was outside a lot. I mean, the views are fantastic. I dressed appropriately to be outside, but people were outside a lot and enjoying themselves. The other thing is that there's gray fuzzy blankets everywhere. I didn't expect this. So in your stateroom, you get 2 red fuzzy blankets. Oh, they're so comfy. But outside of your room, there's gray fuzzy blankets everywhere. And they're at the pool, they're at the dock, they're at Richard's rooftop, they're around the ship and people use them. And it's really cute because people will walk around the ship wearing them and they're just really comfy. And they also have towels as well. Why? Because the pool and the jacuzzi are super duper heated. I'm not saying like, it's steamy hot bath. Well, the jacuzzi was, but the pool is not like steamy hot bath, but it was quite nice. I went into the jacuzzi on a very cold night. I wore my big New York City jacket and brought some fuzzy blankets and a towel up to the jacuzzi, and it was magical. It was so magical to be out there with the cold, and at that time Ketchikan, Alaska was around us. It was awesome. So people are outside enjoying themselves at the pool and at the jacuzzi. We also had some days where it was just really nice, and especially when the sun's hitting just right and there's no wind. Magical. Let's talk about this next important item about being outside, and that's as it pertains to the parties, because a lot of people have questions around this, and you are guaranteed to have more fun if you press this button and also consider subscribing and book your cruise with us. But the thing about the outdoor parties is that Pajama Party indoors. It's indoors. But Brilliant Lady has updated that indoor party, right? It's no longer just the manor anymore. There's now tons of programming around the ship and it's great to enjoy. The sail away party can be outside. If you get good weather for it, and I did a back-to-back sailing, 14 nights on Brilliant Lady through Alaska, and both of our sailaways were awesome. Amazing weather in Seattle in the month of May. And what happened was we had a great outdoor normal sail away just like any other time. But obviously if you get weather, that gets moved inside. The other thing that's inside now is Scarlet Night. And the pool party no longer happens. But I don't know, I asked you guys on Instagram and on some of the other social platforms and you all said, I don't care if it's light outside, it stays very light, very early and very late in Alaska. They're like, I don't care if it's light outside, I would still want the pool party. And I'm like, oh, would you also want to freeze to death? I don't know, it's really windy sometimes outside. And so the pool party does not happen. It's all indoor with the new Scarlet Night programming. Make sure you watch the Brilliant Lady video, because if you're like, what's the moon party? What's the new reimagined red room party? That's all in there for you. But it's all happening indoors. It's a fantastic time, but that's one thing you can expect for Virgin Voyages Alaska. The other helpful thing to know about the indoor-outdoor spaces is when you're enjoying those parties indoors and just the indoors in general, the temperature on the ship runs cooler than normal Caribbean sailings. That could tell you a lot, and that could also not tell you a lot. In other words, this was sailing 36 and 37 for me with Virgin Voyages. And of all of those sailings, I wore more indoor jackets than I normally would on a sailing. So lots of people were in tank tops and t-shirts and were great inside. And other people were with their fuzzy blankets. So my message here is a helpful thing to set your expectations is just to bring layers and know that it might be a little bit cooler inside, not cold, but they're not blasting that air conditioning, right? Like a normal Caribbean sailing. And the doors at the Roundabout are opening and closing a lot because people really are going in and outside a lot. And so make sure you have the right things to be able to enjoy the indoor and outdoor spaces. The pack list, what to pack video, I have a whole Amazon list, tons of info in the description. Most people miss it. All right, this next one I'm really excited to talk to you about, and it's also one that I wish I knew, because for Alaska, I was so port focused. I booked all the shore things. I did tons of research on each of the ports. Check out the port vlogs and all the port maps and information. All of that is in the description below. But I was so focused on the port stuff, I didn't realize how much programming there would be on the ship that's Alaska specific. I totally ran out of time. Even in my 14 nights, I didn't do everything. So picking and choosing and knowing what to expect is important because there's a lot of new things happening on Virgin Voyages Alaska. And one of the key things that's different that I didn't know to expect is 3 additional people. In other words, the Happenings cast always has the same number of Happenings cast people. I love the Happenings cast, but they brought on 3 additional Happenings cast members for Alaska. You have the Naturalist, you have the Lumberjack, and you have the Culturalist. And these 3 people are putting on additional programming and events that aren't available anywhere else, that are Alaska specific. You can check out my video where I go through the actual day-by-day itinerary so that you can know what to expect. But for example, the Naturalist has events where they have viewing parties and you're having some coffee and enjoying the views and learning about what you're looking at. That's one. The second one is the Lumberjack, for example, has talks at the Aquatic Club, talking to you about what it's like being a lumberjack and what to know. Or for example, the Culturalist will have an event about learning about masks held in the manor. These are just 3 of many events that are being held by these 3 new Happenings cast members. I didn't expect that at all. And then we have tons of fun new programming with our Happenings cast that we're used to seeing on every sailing. And so some of them to call out, the You Don't Know Lumberjack show was really fun. It's like a game show where you're competing on 2 sides, and that's really fun. And then there's events at the social club like Crack the crab or bear with it, where it's like Alaska themed trivia. A lot of people got really into some of these activities. And then there are tons of foodie events in which you can do different kinds of Alaska drink items or making different Alaska dishes. There's just a lot of activities on the Happenings Cast front. So helpful tip, just know that you can expect to have a total menu and schedule of things that you can do on the ship with all of these new events. Ooh, there's one other one that I don't want to miss out on telling you. I have this for those of you who watch my content, you know this. I basically get onto the ship, say hello to everyone, then sprint to my room and start booking everything, right? Because a lot of the dining reservations open up just the day that you arrive, and there are certain activities, not all the entertainment. Most entertainment is first come, first serve. They've changed Murder in the Manor. Now you book that. That's new. The other thing is for all of these Alaska events, all the ones I've named, first come, first serve, but there are a select few that come with a fee, right? Similar to Grog Walk, the bar crawl, or Loteria, right? The tequila mezcal drinking event. There are Alaska specific items that come with a fee if you want to do these items. And so I chose to do, for example, Headphones and Horizons, which is a glacier viewing party that is private on the perch and comes with unlimited mulled wine. It comes with hot chocolate. It comes with premium binoculars. It comes with headphones, and you're hearing Abby, the hostess, tell you a story. One of the other things I didn't expect that created a different vibe was instead of having the DJ perform at the pool at the Aquatic Club, instead they had the DJs setting up mid-afternoon in the Roundabout on deck 7. And you can hear that music on 6 and 7. And lots of people would bring the games from the social club and they would just enjoy it in that space. I brought my own game. That's on my what to pack list. If there's a specific game you want, I do not recommend playing games against a mentalist and magician. I lost every single time, and I'm starting to put 2 and 2 together as to why. Ben Price. All right, are you ready to talk about food and drinks? Oh, I need a looser pair of pants for this next section of the video. I needed definitely looser pants for the second sailing on Alaska, that's for sure. But if you're getting some value out of this video, cheers that like button, consider subscribing. Tell me in the comments below, when are you setting sail? I would love to know. I love meeting you guys on the ship. I appreciate you watching the content. Support this channel by booking your sailing with us. Even if you've already booked, make sure you're being a smart traveler. Just send us a text message or an email or a phone call or whatever or ESP to me. I can receive it. Probably not. Anyway, all that info is in the description for you. You ready to talk about food and drink? Let's do it. I did not expect how much Alaska-specific food and drink items there would be around the ship, because it's not just the restaurants. I was like, oh, I gotta go to the restaurants and try all the items. It's not. It's also at the Grounds Club and the Grounds Club 2. It's at every single bar. It's yes at every restaurant. It's literally everywhere around the ship. The Dock and Dock House, instead of Opa Hour, there's Golden Hour. There's so many new things that it was actually a great problem to have, to try to eat and drink my way through all of the new items that they have for Alaska. What's helpful to know is that as you're going into all of these spaces, they will talk about in the signage that they're Alaska specific items. So in the restaurants, for example, you can go look for the little bear icon next to the food, drink, or wine, etc. items. Make sure you're looking for that, especially if you sail a lot like I do. You're gonna want to try all those unique things since you're here. If you want more detail about a lot of these items in a more detailed way, make sure you check out my Alaska Brilliant Lady food items video, info in the description on that. But a few call outs that I loved, there's a lot of fish dishes, right? There's salmon dishes, halibut dishes at the restaurants. I absolutely loved that. The other thing is you'll find things in the galley, like the Alaskan roll, or at the bars, you'll find Alaskan beers. And then at the Grounds Club, you'll find like the salty sea otter mocha with or without alcohol. That was a really delicious one. A thing a lot of people ask, Ben Price asked this, if you get free hot chocolate. You unfortunately don't get free hot chocolate. Oh, unless you're you're sailing with JC, book your sailing with us. He will bring you a hot chocolate every day. He did that for Ben Price. But they do not provide the hot chocolate packets. A lot of people ask that question. They still provide the normal free coffee, the free drip coffee, as well as the tea. That's still there as normal, but there isn't this addition of powdered hot chocolate unless they watch this video and then they change it. So if you want to hear more about food and drink, join me in that video. But let's talk about your stateroom. We already talked about how you get the 2 fuzzy blankets in your stateroom, but I just want to share, I want to share one helpful tip if you choose not to take this next piece of advice. I really enjoyed having the Sea Terrace balcony room for the Alaska sailing. There were just too many times we were sailing past something gorgeous, and I wanted the privacy of my room to enjoy those views from. And instead of having to go out to the public spaces and be amongst everybody who's out there. Or, right, if you don't like to brave the cold and it's cooler outside or happens to be cooler outside, maybe you want to be able to be looking at it from your room. So this is a time for that balcony Sea Terrace room. But if you choose to do the insider, props to you. But one thing I didn't realize until the final day is that there's an Alaska live stream. What? From your TV. So the TV in your stateroom, will show you what's happening outside. This is footage of the muster video because I didn't discover this until the last day, and the last day we're on Seattle, so there was nothing to watch. You ready for a smattering of tips of things I wish I knew I did not expect? Seattle embarkation, different than Miami Terminal V. They're still working through this because it's a new, right? It's a new port for them. But if there's one tip I have for you, it's to make sure you tag your luggages in advance of coming to the port. So that's one. Go watch the port video for more helpful tips. The next one is photo booths. This is fun. They always have the photo booth on Scarlet Night, but now they have the photo booth during the day. Oh, it was so fun. I wish I would have known I shouldn't be frumpy and weird looking while I'm walking around the ship during the day. I should take photos at the photo booth every day in my cute Alaska clothing. So there's photo booths available to you. The next one is shopping. There's a lot of shopping. It's one I didn't expect. I forgot things. I created a pack list and I didn't even use it. Anyway, shopping. There's tons of Alaska specific items, whether souvenirs or things that you might just need in Alaska. And not only that, you'll find it at every store, but they also have pop-up shopping moments throughout your sailing. You can find it on the app to see what's going on, especially if you like shopping. And then even at the Virgin Voyages brand store, you'll find tons of Alaska items there. And then the other thing is that the Happenings cast even has shopping activities where they will do a little runway walk with sailors involved around some of the things that you can buy that are Alaska specific. So tons of shopping events on the ship. This last one I should have expected, but at the same time didn't really expect. And I was reflecting about the first time I ever went to Alaska while I was on this 14-night back-to-back sailing on Virgin Voyages. And that was when I was a child on a different cruise line and was literally dragged to Alaska by my parents. I was one of those kids that wanted to go play at the beach. I didn't really want to count whales in Alaska. And so the first time I was in Alaska, it was not magical for me as a child. But as an adult, it was magical to experience it without kids. In other words, I think about, I'm trying to envision this for my 10-year-old eyes of all the adults that were there trying to enjoy Alaska. And on Virgin Voyages, you can enjoy Alaska without a bunch of kids running around. So you can tell me your opinion below. There's something about Alaska that's not like, oh yeah, all the kids are gonna come here and go crazy and enjoy themselves. I just wasn't that kind of kid, but maybe it's because I love Hawaii and hot temperatures, and it was just a nice vibe for it to be adults only. And the other thing, you can't have nice things when kids are around, like that red hammock, magical in Alaska. Red hammock ain't happening if there's kids around. So it's just nice to have that experience of Alaska as adults only. If this was helpful, cheers that like button, consider subscribing, and go get all the free resources. They're in the description below, the pack list, the tips sheet, the port maps, the millions of other things. And book your cruise with us. It's the best way to support this channel. We're experts in this space and we really can help you. It takes just a minute to get a free price quote from us, and it never costs a thing to work with us. I'll see you in the next video in this series. Ciao.